Okay, so what if Beauty and the Beast, that fairy tale you maybe remember from childhood, what if it wasn't quaint at all?
Mm.
Imagine it as a dangerous ancient curse, like a blight deep inside a perilous fey realm, just brimming with secrets and power and, honestly, betrayal that could just change everything.
Mm.
Today, we're doing a real deep dive into Sarah J. Maas's house, A Court of Thorns and Roses. You probably know it as ACOTAR. Everyone does, seems like.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And this isn't just any fantasy romance. It's arguably the book that pulls so many people into this huge, really discussed series. A phenomenon, really.
It really is. It sort of redefined things.
It came out in 2015, book one of the main series, and it just captured it blends, the fairy tale thing, but with complex political fantasy and, yeah, we got to mention it, some very steamy, very adult romance that gets a lot of attention. Now, if you've been anywhere online, like TikTok book communities, you know this book. It either completely pulls you in or, well.
Or it really divides the room, yeah.
Yeah.
People have strong feelings.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack why. Why the allure? Why the controversy? We're going to peel back the layers of this first book and see why it kicked off such a huge cultural thing.
It's fascinating, isn't it, how some books just become these phenomena. They spark such intense reactions, often really polarized ones.
Right.
And ACOTAR is a perfect example. It's more than a story. It feels like an experience for people. They get really invested. So yeah, understanding that means looking at everything, the plot, the characters, the style, how it all works together.
Absolutely. So let's kick off with that setup, Feyre Archeron's journey, because that really anchors it all. It starts, like you said, with that familiar Beauty and the Beast feel.
Gives you a starting point.
You feel comfortable, like you know where this might go, but almost right away, Maas twists it. It gets darker, much more morally complex, heavier, way beyond a simple kid's fairy tale.
Definitely not Disney.
Not at all. So we meet Feyre. She's 19, a mortal huntress, and her life is just bleak.
Yeah.
Abject poverty, edge of a harsh winter, and she's got this incredibly ungrateful, kind of useless family she has to feed.
Yeah, the burden on her is immense from the start.
Her whole life is just survival. You feel that weight on her immediately.
And it shapes her, right? She's hardened, practical, emotionally guarded, maybe a bit bitter, honestly.
And that desperation is key, isn't it? It drives her actions. It's not about glory, it's pure need.
Exactly.
Which makes her relatable, even with the fantasy setting coming later. It sets up the contrast, the culture shock she's about to face. It's survival, not a quest.
Right. And then comes that moment, the inciting incident. She's hunting desperate, kills a wolf, but oh.
No, just a wolf.
Nope. Turns out it was a fae in disguise. A powerful being from the scary magical realm next door. And the consequence is immediate. This massive beast-like creature, Tamlin, shows up.
Right, the beast. And he demands she goes with him to Prythian, the Fey realm, as payment. Life for a life. Brutal. Throws her into this world she's been taught to absolutely fear.
And her reaction isn't passive, is it?
Not at all. She's spirited, skeptical, defiant, even scared. She pushes back. But then, the first big twist on the fairy tale. Tamlin reveals himself.
He's not really a monster.
No. He's a high fae lord, powerful, beautiful, but cursed. He has to wear this ornate mask, and his court, the spring court, it's beautiful on the surface, but it's decaying. Something's deeply wrong.
That subversion is instant. Tells you this isn't the simple story you thought. There are layers, secrets, tragedy woven in right from the start.
And it sets up this complex web she gets caught in. It's not just captive falls for captor.
No, far from it. Maas uses that trope as a launch pad, like you said, but layers in so much more. Feyre's caught between, these growing, complicated feelings for Tamlin, the really dangerous court politics, secrets that could destroy everything, and this looming blight, this curse affecting the land. It's multi-layered.
Yeah.
And that's crucial. It elevates it beyond just romance. It connects personal struggles to these bigger, almost geopolitical fae tensions. That's what keeps you hooked, wondering how it all connects.
And that makes the familiar fairy tale comfort, but immediately undercut by this dark fantasy danger. That's the hook. It feels known, but unpredictable.
Absolutely. It draws you right in.
Okay, so digging deeper than just the plot setup, let's talk about the themes that really anchor ACOTAR. One huge one for Feyre is this constant push and pull between freedom and obligation.
Oh, definitely. That's central.
From the start, her life is defined by obligation. Duty to that family she kind of resents.
Yeah.
Then she's forced into Prythian, facing all these fae expectations, ancient rules.
Suffocating almost.
Right. But underneath, she has this fierce, fundamental desire for independence, for her own life, her own choices, not just doing what others need or want.
And that internal conflict is what drives her growth, isn't it? It's not static. She's constantly wrestling with it. Duty, expectations, but also this yearning for autonomy. And it's in those moments when she fights back against the limits that you see her resilience really shine. Her journey is about defining freedom for herself, often through really painful choices and sacrifices.
Which leads right into the next big theme, love and sacrifice. The stakes in the relationships here are incredibly high. The book forces the characters and you, the reader, to ask, what are you really willing to risk for the people you care about? Not just big gestures, but the terrifying personal costs. Life, soul, everything.
Yeah, Maas shows that sacrifice isn't always pretty or heroic. It can be brutal, leave scars. It's messy.
And woven through everything, every conversation, every bit of court intrigue, every magic use, is power, politics, and control.
Absolutely fundamental.
It operates on the personal, romantic level, who has the power and the relationship, the control, the possessiveness, and then obviously on the political stage, with the Fae courts, their ancient rivalries.
And the magical level, too.
Right. High Fae with terrifying abilities. The Spring Court itself feels like a microcosm of this beautiful but decaying, hiding this desperate attempt at control.
Exactly. And connecting that to Prythian as a whole, those Fae court power structures are critical. They aren't just places on a map. They're ancient political entities, each with a high lord or lady with near absolute power.
Creates this constant tension.
A delicate dance, yeah. Alliances, rivalries, old grudges. It affects everything. The struggle for control, subtle or overt, defines relationships, information flow, the fate of everyone, Fae and human. It's about manipulation, influence, fear versus respect. That really elevates the political fantasy side.
So let's talk characters, because they're the heart of it. Feyre first. When we meet her, she's bitter, angry, just focused on survival. Sharp, cynical inner voice.
Yeah, very guarded.
But being in Prythian changes her. She doesn't just adapt, she evolves. Becomes more observant, resourceful, much more emotionally complex. Lets down some walls.
And she's not perfect, which is key.
Totally. She's flawed, raw, makes mistakes, super hard-headed sometimes. That makes her growth feel earned, satisfying. You root for her because she feels real, despite the fantasy.
A journey of resilience, really.
Then Tamlin, High Lord of Spring. Initially, he's like the archetype, right? Romantic hero, noble beast rolled into one. Courteous, protective, seems tragic with the curse.
The masked lord.
But you sense that emotional distance almost immediately. Guarded, something held back. And as you see more of the Spring Court, you see cracks in that perfect image.
The burden he carries.
Yeah, the curse, the responsibilities. It becomes central to understanding him. That stoicism starts to show hints of something else. Maybe fragile, maybe controlling, foreshadowing things to come.
And it's important to remember, in book one, he's deliberately presented in that almost idealized way for the Beauty and the Beast setup.
Right.
His later arc gets very controversial, but here you're seeing the foundation,
Yeah.
the protective lord, burden, trying to hold things together. Hints of possessiveness are there, but subtle, maybe framed as protection or part of the curse.
That initial portrayal is crucial for how Feyre feels and how the reader feels. Sets up later shifts.
Makes those shifts incredibly impactful, yeah, and divisive.
And we can't forget Lucien, Tamlin's friend, the emissary. Snarky, scarred.
The fox mask, cynical.
He brings that needed levity, the witty banter, especially with Feyre. Some great exchanges there. But he's not just comic relief. His backstory, the hints you get, it adds surprising emotional depth. He's dealing with his own pain, his own loyalties. Complex guy.
Yeah, definitely more than just a sidekick. You feel for him. Hints at his own path later on.
And then Rhysand shows up later in the book.
Yeah.
Shadowy figure pops up at a key, terrifying moment.
And makes quite an entrance.
Oh yeah, enigmatic, arrogant, gorgeous in that dark way, and just terrifyingly powerful. High Lord of Night Court. Feared. Whispered about.
Even with limited page time in book one.
Exactly. His role is limited here, is supporting, but he casts this huge shadow. You just know he's going to be vital later. Those brief appearances are electric. So much tension, so much mystery.
That ambiguity is magnetic.
Leaves a massive impression. Sets up so much.
It's masterful how much intrigue is generated with so little screen time. He's initially presented almost like a villain associated with darkness, manipulation.
Right.
But there are tiny hints of something else. His motives are unclear, actions provocative, power undeniable. It primes you perfectly, makes you question everything about the courts, good versus evil in this world.
Makes you desperate to know more about him.
Exactly. You anticipate his next move, a testament to Maas's character building, even in brief appearances.
Okay, moving beyond characters. Let's talk world building. Prythian. It's magic. The continent's divided, right? Mortal lands where fares from less magic, forgotten history. And Prythian, the Fey realm, separated by a magical wall.
That divide is fundamental, sets up the tension, the otherness, the danger to humans.
And within Prythian, you have the 7 courts. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, day, night, dawn. Not just regions, but distinct territories, ruled by high lords or ladies. Each embodies a season or time of day.
Paints this picture of a complex, ancient political landscape. History, rivalries, alliances, even if you mostly just see Spring Court in Book 1.
Hints at a much bigger world.
Definitely. Promises more exploration.
And the main setting, the Spring Court.
Yeah.
It's portrayed as stunning, almost ethereal, especially at first through Feyre's eyes. Blooming forests, lush gardens, intricate architecture, masked fae. Elegant but unsettling.
Visually rich.
But underneath that beauty, danger simmers. You feel this constant unease. Something is deeply wrong, despite the perfection. It's a beautiful cage.
Yeah, that gilded prison feeling. Reflects Feyre's entrapment, but also the court's decay. The decay isn't just physical, it's like in its soul.
That environmental storytelling is strong. The fading vibrancy, the masks, Tamlin trying to keep up appearances. It's very gothic romance.
The court itself feels like a character mirroring the internal struggles, and it questions how much of that beauty is real versus illusion.
And the magic system, it feels soft, not hard rules.
Yeah, a soft magic system. We see incredible things, enchantments, shape-shifting, winnowing, glamour, high fae powers. But the exact how isn't rigidly defined.
Feels ancient, innate.
And that contributes to the wonder, the unpredictability, and the danger. You're often as surprised as Feyre by what they can do.
Makes magical fights feel really high stakes.
And allows narrative flexibility for later books, too.
So this whole world, rich, beautiful, terrifying, detailed, even with mysteries, it just invites you in. Makes you want to explore the other courts, learn the history, understand the magic. You feel like you step into it.
Deeply immersive, yeah.
Okay, let's shift to Maas's signature style. Her writing, the romance focus, that climax. The writing style itself, it's undeniably lush.
Very sensory.
Totally. Heavy on senses, sights, sounds, smells of Prythian. And laced with tension, especially in romantic scenes. She builds atmosphere through description.
That sensory detail is a hallmark. It's not just what Feyre sees, but what she feels. The chill, the warmth, the weight of the masks creates this embodied atmosphere.
Makes you feel the beauty and the menace.
And the tension in romantic moments comes from describing body language, unspoken things, internal turmoil. Very visceral connection to Feyre.
And it's all first-person present tense. Powerful choice.
Gives you direct access.
Unfiltered thoughts, fears, emotions as they happen.
Yeah.
Creates this really strong, empathetic connection. You feel it all with her. Her doubts, her desires.
Deepens the impact significantly.
The dialogue is often punchy, witty, especially Lucien. Descriptions are vivid, painting clear pictures. But some people find it a bit much, right?
Yeah, the overwritten or purple prose critique comes up. It's definitely a distinctive style. Not for everyone, but part of the ACOTAR brand, like you said.
There are stretches of really poetic imagery, describing magic, the courts, romance. Fans of lyrical writing love it, elevates it, makes it atmospheric.
For others, maybe a bit melodramatic.
Could be. Like that quote, "I was as unburdened as a piece of dandelion fluff, and he was the wind that stirred me about the world."
That sums it up perfectly. Evocative, romantic, intensely emotional.
Prioritizes emotional resonance. Immersion over lean prose, which is exactly what many readers want in fantasy romance. Escapism, heightened emotion, lyrical beauty.
And the first-person present tense amplifies that. Makes Feyre's subjective experience very immediate, very personal.
So the style, love it or find it a bit much, it's a huge part of the experience.
Yeah.
Part of the whole conversation about ACOTAR.
Definitely leaves a powerful impression.
Now the romance and the spice. This is central, right? Not a subplot.
Absolutely central. Drives the plot, Feyre's motivations, the secrets unfolding.
It builds slowly in the first half. That slow burn. Tension, protectiveness, shared vulnerability between Feyre and Tamlin. Mutual curiosity grows into something deeper. But the second half, it shifts. Dives into real passion, intimacy, more explicit connection, palpable desire.
It ramps up.
And this is a really key note for listeners considering the series.
Yeah.
ACOTAR starts feeling YA with the premise the Beauty and the Beast frame. But it shifts decisively into new adult.
Quickly and clearly.
Especially from book 2 onward, A Court of Mist and Fury. That's where it fully embraces mature themes. Sensual content, mature themes, explicit scenes, They're integral, not just tacked on.
And that genre shift is significant. People expecting typical YA are often surprised, sometimes happily, sometimes maybe not, depending on taste.
Right.
It's a deliberate move into a different subgenre. Order audience, deeper exploration of relationships, physical intimacy, complex emotions, knowing that upfront sets expectations.
Helps you know if it's the kind of fantasy you're looking for.
Exactly. It broadened the appeal to a more adult audience looking for that mix.
So for readers who want romance-driven fantasy, who are looking for that spice integrated into the story, this is a major draw, a differentiator. Yeah. Epic adventure and passionate, complex relationships.
Best of both worlds for that audience. Emotional stakes tied to the fantastical ones.
Okay, finally, that climax. Dark,
Yes.
transformative. The final act of ACOTAR gets much darker than anything before it.
Oh, yeah. Big tonal shift.
It reshapes everything. Moves from romantic fantasy towards survival horror, almost. High-stakes psychological drama. A brutal test of will. It's jarring, intense, unforgettable.
Leaves a mark.
Feyre faces just violent challenges, profound emotional trauma. It's not just physical survival, it's a psychological gauntlet. Strips away innocence, pushes her to absolute limits.
And we meet the main antagonist there.
Amarantha. Sadistic, chillingly cruel, incredibly powerful. Her presence changes the whole series, raises the stakes for all of Prythian, casts this long, terrifying shadow.
Particularly formidable villain.
And the climax introduces the infamous trials under the mountain. Not just to test a brutal crucible, impossible challenges, morally compromising choices, designed to break her.
Forces her to confront her deepest fears, make horrific choices.
Pushes her limits in ways you wouldn't expect. Everything she's learned become tested under soul-crushing pressure. Shows her fortitude, her capacity for sacrifice.
Those trials are brilliant narratively, not just external conflict, but designed to challenge her internal strength, her humanity, her morality.
Shatters the fairy tale completely.
Utterly. Replaced by this grim reality where she has to go through darkness. It alters the story's path, leaves you uneasy but anticipating what's next. You know the comfortable part is over. What lies ahead is dangerous, complex, compelling, sets up the whole saga.
So wrapping up, final verdict time. Let's recap the strengths. Gripping romance, tons of emotional intensity.
It really pulls you in.
Feyre's character arc satisfying, earned. Bitter survivor to complex, powerful figure.
Very strong protagonist journey.
That unique mixed fairy tale meets dark fantasy. Feels familiar but fresh.
Addictive blend.
Lush world building, hints of bigger mythology. Draws you in, sparks imagination.
Great foundation.
And as a setup for the series, fantastic. Leaves you desperate for book 2. Hooks people hard.
I think that fusion fairy tale frame, dark fantasy politics, strong, relatable lead, that's the core of its success. Takes familiar ground, warps it, adds grit, mature themes, complex emotions, resonates with modern readers.
Lush's boundaries.
Definitely. Offers something recognizable but new and dangerous. Huge appeal.
Okay, but weaknesses. For balance, pacing in early chapters can feel slow for some, before Prythian really kicks off.
Takes a bit to build momentum, yeah.
Tamlin's arc becomes controversial later. We're just talking book 1, but that shadow exists for series readers.
Worth noting if you plan to continue.
World building, while lush, can be vague sometimes in book 1. Mysteries remain about magic, courts, history.
Leaves you wanting more details sometimes?
And the writing style, overly dramatic, purple prose. For some tastes. Very subjective.
Highly subjective, yeah.
But do these weaknesses really detract? Or are they minor bumps for most fans?
I think for readers drawn to the core appeal, the romance, the Feyre's journey, they're often seen as minor. The emotional payoff, the tension usually outweighs the slow start.
Yep.
The style is often exactly what fans want.
Part of the immersive experience?
Right. The strengths, emotional intensity, character arc tend to overshadow the criticisms for that target audience. Small concessions, not deal breakers.
Makes sense. So who should dive in? Fans of Beauty and the Beast retellings, especially dark, complex twists?
Absolutely.
Readers who love romance-driven fantasy, where relationships are central.
Definitely for them.
People who like character-focused stories, high emotional stakes, internal journeys.
Lots to analyze there.
And anyone looking for strong female leads, cool fae lore, and that steamy, slow-burn romance. ACOTAR probably has your name on it.
It delivers on all those fronts. Taps into that demand for fantasy with mature romance, epic conflict, political intrigue, strong lead in a dangerous, alluring world, plus that building tension. It's a powerful, addictive formula.
Offers escapism, emotional investment, Empowerment.
Exactly. It helped define a new wave of fantasy romance.
So our final verdict for A Court of Thorns and Roses, Book 1. A solid 4 out of 5 stars. Atmospheric, emotionally intense, lays the foundation for a huge saga.
Not flawless, but undeniably addicting.
Right. The pacing, the style, subjective points, but its ability to pull you in, undeniable. If you like morally complex characters, slow burn romance that ignites Fae lore, it'll probably hook you.
And by the end.
Oh yeah, that climax. You'll be grabbing Book 2 immediately, desperate to know what happens next.
Guaranteed.
So, ACOTAR Book 1. Unique blend, familiar yet dark, enchanting but harrowing. Challenges expectations, rewards immersion.
And its impact on the genre is huge. It shifted the conversation, showed that complex world-building, high stakes, and explicit romance can thrive together, created this incredibly popular subgenre, invited a whole new audience into fantasy.
So, the big question
Yeah.
is, A Court of Thorns and Roses worth the hype? Ultimately, that's up to you, the listener. But if you step into Prythian, don't expect to leave unmarked.
Leaves an impression.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What kinds of stories leave those lasting scars or impressions on you? Why do certain narratives stick with us so profoundly? It's something to maybe mull over until the next deep dive.